And as I said, welcome. Thanks so much for joining for class today. We're going to go ahead and get started in a seated position on your mat. And you can be in any comfortable seated position. So if you don't enjoy being cross-legged, you could try having your legs in front or any other position you'd like. Maybe you want to sit on your knees. Anything would be fine. So sitting. Let's lengthen a little bit through our spine. Maybe drop the shoulders back just a little bit. And we'll close our eyes for a moment or soften our gaze. And we'll just take a second to check in. And let's do that by bringing all of our attention first to our breath. And that'll help us set other things to the side. Help us focus on what's going on right now. Think about your inhale, maybe allowing your breath to reach your belly. And then when you exhale, letting the breath escape your body in a slow, controlled way. Maybe making your exhale last a little bit longer than your inhale, just for a moment. And then take note on how you feel physically. And if you have any areas that you want to take special care of today, we want to make sure that we do that. This class is yours, so you can adjust, change, skip anything that you may like, anything that you need today. And then lastly, for this initial check-in, just take note of any underlying mood or emotions that you may be feeling, and not placing any judgment or label of good or bad on it, just being aware of where you're at right now and just meeting yourself there. And then with that, we can open our eyes, and we're going to add a bit of movement here. So on your next breath in, let's reach our arms up, overhead. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring them back to our sides, nice and slow, reaching, extending to both ends of the room as we come down. Inhale up. And then exhale, back down. This time on your inhale, we will come up again. But exhaling, we're going to take one arm in front, one behind you, and gently look over our shoulder. On your next inhale, arms up. Exhale, the other side. Gentle twist. Just a couple more of these. Start to move at your own pace, the pace of your own breath. We'll breathe at different rates, so we don't have to be in sync together through class. You can consider my inhale and exhale cues as reminders. And move with your own breath. So if you feel pretty balanced, let's come back to center. Maybe you want to finish up the side you're on. And then from here, we're going to move to hands and knees. And you can travel there however you'd like. I like to take my hands in front just like that, but you can do it however is comfortable for you. And we're going to meet on all fours with shoulders over wrists, knees under hips for cat and cow. So on your next exhale, breath out, we're going to round our back to cat pose, tuck our chin, tuck our hips. Maybe push the ground away from you if that feels good. And then on your next inhale, let's start to lengthen. We'll begin to lift our tailbone, then our heart, and then we'll look forward, finding cow pose. So let's start to move with our breath now. Exhaling, round to cat. Inhale, lift and lengthen to cow. A couple more on your own. Make sure this feels good on your spine. And if it doesn't, you can adjust your range of motion. Maybe don't scoop as low or arch as high. And now let's start to make our way back to neutral spine, which is our flat back. And we'll extend our arms in front of us And sink our heart down towards the mat, finding extended puppy pose. This can be a great shoulder and chest opener. Maybe you want to rest your head. If this is too much or doesn't feel great today, let's take child's pose instead with hips to heels. So wherever you're at, a couple more breaths. And then if you're in puppy, let's come to child's pose. We'll all meet there, hips to heels. And then we're going to lift to downward dog. So with arms outstretched, we'll curl our toes under. We're going to drive our tailbone up and back. I want to relax our head. Just let it hang there. Fingers are spread wide. Shoulders are down away from our ears. And then let's start to wake up the back of our legs. We'll press one heel towards the mat, bending the opposite knee, and then the other. And just start bicycling your heels back and forth, gently waking up your calves and hamstrings. Trying to push evenly through your open hands, your open palms. And just staying in downward dog here for a moment. If there's any other movements you'd like to do, or if you'd like to drop your knees and take a quick child's pose, that's fine as well. And then let's begin to make our way towards the top of our mat. As many steps as you need, however you'd like to get there. We're going to come into ragdoll fold. Bend the knees a lot, hands to opposite elbows, and let your head hang down. In ragdoll fold, we all want to bend our knees a lot, as much as we can. We want to allow our head to feel super heavy, like it's pulling towards the ground. On your next inhale, let's come up halfway to monkey pose. So taking our hands wherever they might meet there, so maybe shins, knees, anywhere, we're going to rest in there and pull our shoulders towards our hips. Pull the top of our head towards the wall in front of us, creating almost like a table with your back. Let's find one more inhale here. Maybe lift your heart a little bit higher. And then exhale, forward fold, reach down. Inhale, we'll sweep arms up overhead. Interlock fingers if that's available today, so if that's comfortable. Otherwise, press your hands together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale towards one side. Inhale, center. Exhaling to the other side. Inhale, back up. Exhaling, hands come behind the back. Let's clasp fingers. Inhale, lift your heart. And then exhale, release, and we'll do a couple rounds of sun salutations. Inhale, let's bring arms up overhead. Exhale, fold from the hips all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, fold again. We're going to step back to plank or kneeling plank. So in either version, we want to flat back, and our elbows will hug the sides as we start to lower down towards the ground, all the way to our bellies for at least this first one. Inhale, lift your heart. Maybe hover your palms if that feels okay, a little extra back strengthening. And then gently release. We'll push back up into downward dog. Stepping towards the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, sweep arms up, palms together. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms lift. Option to add a back bend if that feels good today. Exhale, fold. Inhale, monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, fold again. Step or jump back to plank or kneeling plank. As you lower down, the hips don't sink, elbows stay in. Inhale. Option to take that baby cobra again, or up dog. Trying to get thighs off the mat and up dog. Exhale, return to downward dog. And just staying here for a couple breaths. And then from downward dog, We'll inhale, take our right leg up. And then on our exhale, we're gonna step it through. And we'll inhale to warrior one. Now we can make as many adjustments as we need to once we lift. We want our hips facing forward. We want our feet planted to the ground, almost like we're trying to pull apart the mat with our feet. So really grounded. Shoulders relaxed. Feeling strong. One more breath in here. And then as we exhale, we're gonna open up and come into warrior two. In warrior two, we'll have a much wider stance. So widening our stance here, sink into the right knee. Your arms are parallel to the ground, shoulders are relaxed. And we're feeling our hips really open here. And if you don't, you could probably get a wider stance. On your next inhale, right arm lifts, reverse warrior. And then exhaling, we're gonna take hands all the way down around the right foot, and we'll step back to plank or kneeling plank and move through a vinyasa, the part where we lower down, straight back. Inhale to your back bend of choice. Exhale to downward dog. And we link our sequences together with the vinyasas, but they're always optional. From downward dog, inhale, left leg lifts. On your exhale, step it through as many steps as you need. Inhale, warrior one. Staggered stance. We have our left foot in front, both feet are planted, bending into the left knee. Hips are facing forward. Relax the shoulders even as you reach up through your arms. One more inhale here. And then exhale, open up to warrior two, wider stance. Sink into the left knee. Your right leg is really straight. Look over your left hand. And feel your hips opening up in warrior two. On your next inhale, reverse warrior, legs stay the same, left arm reaches up, looking towards your hand. And then exhaling, hands come down around the left foot. And we'll step back to plank or kneeling plank. And you can move through a vinyasa, or you can go straight to downward dog, or take a child's pose, or anything else you may want to do. And we're gonna build on to that sequence. From downward dog, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, open up, warrior two, widen your stance. Inhale, right arm lifts, reverse warrior. And then exhaling, side angle, the top arm, our right arm, forearm to the right thigh. And then left arm reaching to the ceiling or towards our ear or anywhere in between. Opening up our upper body so that our heart is facing a wall and not the floor. If it feels okay on your neck, looking up towards the ceiling. And then on your next inhale, squeeze your abdominals to lift back up to warrior two. Arms come parallel again. And then we're gonna revolve warrior two. And this might feel a little wobbly, it's supposed to challenge our balance. So we're gonna lift up our back heel, our left heel, turn our arms, turn our body around. If you have to lower your arms at all and then re-extend them, you can. And then we're gonna try and look towards our right hand behind us. Arms are reaching away from each other, engaging your abdominals for balance and grounding through your front foot and your back toes. From here, on your next inhale, see if you can lift the left arm a little bit. Change your gaze towards your left hand. That should challenge your balance. It's okay to wobble. We want to be in a growth space, not in a perfect pose space. From here, whatever yours looks like, on your exhale, we're going to start to bring the left hand down towards the ground, finding a twisting lunge, looking up towards your right hand. And option to drop the left knee if we would like a little more stability, or if that feels better today. Or to keep it lifted, press your heel back, reach for the ceiling. Then on your next exhale, hand comes down, stepping to plank or kneeling plank, and moving through your vinyasa or anything else you'd like to do. From downward dog, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior one. Good, exhale, open up to warrior two, widen your stance. Inhale, left arm lifts, reverse warrior. And then exhale, side angle on this side now. The left forearm to the left thigh. Right arm is to the ceiling or towards your ear, anywhere in between. Upper body opens. If it feels okay, looking towards the ceiling or towards your arm. Engage your core on your next inhale. Come up, warrior two. And we'll revolve it. We're going to lift up our right heel, turn our body, extend our arms, looking towards your left hand behind you. If you feel like your feet are doing all the work, squeeze your core a bit more to balance. And if it feels okay on your next inhale, we're going to reach our right arm up and look towards it. More inhale. As you exhale, start to make that right hand come towards the mat. Twisting lunge or kneeling twisting lunge. Left arm is extended, fingers spread wide. Look towards your hand. Option to drop the right knee or to keep it lifted. If it's lifted, press your heel back. One more breath in. And then exhaling, hand comes down. We're going to step back to plank or kneeling plank, and we're going to move through our vinyasa or anything else you'd like to do. And when you're done, we're going to meet in child's pose. So whenever you're ready, we'll take hips to heels and just check in for a moment. If you're thirsty, grab a sip of water. Otherwise, just take a moment to connect back with your breath. Let go of anything that may have come up and be ready to move on to the next part. From child's pose, we're going to lift back up to downward dog. And then we're going to soften our knees, look towards our hands, and lightly jump towards the top of our mat. Inhaling. We'll sweep our arms up, palms together, exhaling, hands to heart, and we're going to do balancing pigeon pose. So let's ground through our right foot to begin with. We're going to spread our toes wide to create a good base, if that feels good. And then we'll take our left ankle over our right knee, flex our foot, and then start to engage our stomach muscles, our abdominals, our core for balance. So that's where our center of gravity is. If this is a good challenge balance-wise, stay here. If you want to go further, we can start to sit down into this as if coming into chair. And then we'll start to feel that familiar pigeon stretch that we feel in our hip and glute when we're in that ankle over knee stretch position. So you can take this to wherever you want to go today. Maybe finding something not moving in front of you to stare at can help. If you're looking to take this a little bit further, the next step would be to hinge from your hips so that you can get elbow to foot and knee. That's a pose then for flying pigeon, which would be the next. We're not going to break that down today, but it's not as hard as it sounds. Let's start to come up. It's okay to wobble, remember, we're challenging our balance. We'll take the left foot slightly behind us, and we'll have a staggered stance for pyramid pose. Hips are facing forward. Right foot slightly in front. Inhale tall through the spine. And then exhale, fold from the hips, keeping your back flat. And we'll feel a nice hamstring stretch in the back of our right leg. You can also bend your right knee as much as your hamstring wants today. Once we've folded, if you do want to take your arms to a different place, maybe it's to the mat or to your leg or behind your back or anything at all, you can do that. Great. Let's find one more. Inhale. And then on our exhale, we're going to soften our knees so we can take our fingertips or hands to the mat. lift our left leg up as we bring our upper body towards our right leg. This is standing splits. Just take a deep breath in. And then as we exhale, we're going to step the left foot back as far as we can and build a lunge. Again, so we want knee over ankle. If we didn't land there, just adjust, and that's totally fine. And then we'll drop the left knee, flatten the left foot, and we'll reach our arms up if that feels good to kneeling crescent lunge. If you find this is a little too much on your hip flexors, then you may want to drop the arms. And if you want to go deeper, sink forward or reach further back. Breathing. One more inhale. And then exhaling, hands will come down. We're going to lift up that knee, step back to downward dog. And then we'll soften our knees, look towards our hands, and lightly jump or step to the top of our mat. Inhale, sweeping arms up. Palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. And we'll do this on the other side. Bouncing on the left foot now, maybe taking a moment to ground, spread toes wide. We'll bring right ankle over the left knee. Flex our foot, engage our core. If it feels challenging enough, stay here. Otherwise, start to sink down into it. If you find you're not wobbling at all, that's a good indication that you could maybe even go a little deeper, or maybe start to fold elbows towards knee or foot, or maybe just close your eyes, because we do just want this to be challenging, so we're continuing to get better. When you're ready, starting to come up. And we'll take our hands to hips, bring our right foot slightly behind us. We're setting up for pyramid pose. Staggered stance, hips face forward, left foot slightly in front. Inhale, tall through the back. Exhale, fold from the hips, flat back into pyramid pose. Notice how the left hamstring feels. Have as much bend to your knee as it wants. Take a couple deep breaths. If you'd like to change your hand position, you're welcome to do that. Let's take one more. Inhale. Exhale, soften the knees so we can comfortably take fingertips or hands to the ground. And then the right leg will lift up as we start to bring our heart a little closer towards our left leg. Standing splits. One more inhale. Exhale, step the right foot back as far as you can, and then adjust as needed to build your lunge with the left knee over the left ankle. Once you're there, drop the right knee, flatten the right foot. And let's come up to kneeling crescent lunge. As you lift your arms up, if it's too much for your hips, you can take them back down. If you want to go deeper, you can sink forward or reach further back in a great hip flexor stretch in a kneeling crescent lunge. And one more breath in. And then exhaling, hands come down. We're going to take that leg back, and we're going to move to a seated position with our knees bent and our hands behind our body with fingertips facing our body. And we're going to take a pass at table pose or seated heart opener. I'll show both variations to open up the chest and shoulders just a little bit more. So on your next inhale, we're going to push through our hands, lift our heart towards the ceiling, and stretch into our chest, shoulders. The more you push the ground away from you, the deeper the stretch, like a string is pulling your heart from the ceiling. So if this feels good, stay here, breathing. If you want to take it a little further, let's find table pose, lifting up your hips, continuing to push the ground away from you, lifting heart and hips towards the ceiling. Getting a little deeper to the shoulders here. So whichever feels best for you. Maybe one or two more breaths. And then we're going to gently lower down. And we're gonna lie on our back with our knees bent, arms at our sides. We'll be coming into bridge pose. So feet are flat to the ground, palms down. We're gonna inhale as we push through hands and feet, lifting our hips up towards the ceiling. And then find something that feels good. So if this is not comfortable, lower down a little bit or all the way. If it is comfortable, hold it up here for a few breaths. Option to clasp your hands underneath your body, press into the ground, to lift a little more on your shoulders, if that feels good. Just find one more inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly lowering down, almost like one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll draw our knees into the chest and rock side to side. From here, we're going to take our arms out wide. You can be in a kind of a T position, or you can have goalpost arms, arms to your sides. The important thing is that your shoulders stay on the ground. We're going to drop our knees one direction as we look towards the other hand. Spinal twist. Doesn't matter how far your knees go. And then let's take the knees now to the other side. And then turn our gaze as well. Come back to center. Pulling your knees in once more. This time maybe lifting your forehead or nose up towards your knees. Deep breath in, curled like a ball. Exhale, let it all go. And let's take a couple moments here to just be here and do nothing. In any comfortable position. So if you don't like the traditional Savasana lying on your back, you could be on your side, you could have knees bent, you could be seated. But give yourself permission for just 2 minutes to do nothing. No expectations. And even when the mind offers thoughts, just know you're not doing it wrong. Once you notice it, let the thought go. And if you get distracted, just bringing yourself back to your breath. And then let's very slowly and gently begin to bring our awareness back. And first, notice how you feel right now. And then maybe wiggle fingers, toes. Small movements. And as you transition however you'd like and in your own time to seated, just trying not to rush yourself, trying to carry with you any peace or relaxation you have. Just carry it with you a little bit. And then with that, we'll take arms up overhead, palms together. And then as you exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you so much for being here today. Namaste.